Hello students, a warm welcome to all of you to your own channel. In this video, we are going to study the different types of verbs, that is the finite and the non-finite verb, and also see the difference between the different types of non-finite verbs. At the end of the video, you will find a worksheet attached with few exercises of the finite and non-finite verbs. Let us now see what are finite verbs. The finite verbs depend on the person, number of the subject and also the tense of the sentence. That means their form changes according to the person, number of the subject and the tense. The non-finite verbs do not change their form. They are not dependent on the person and number of the subject, neither are they dependent on the tense of the sentence. They are independent in their forms and they do not change their forms in any condition. Let us now see the definition of finite verbs. A verb which is limited by the number or the person of its subject and also on the tense of the subject are the finite verbs. The form of the verb depends on its subject. Let us see the example. They play football. Here we see the subject they is plural and therefore the verb also takes the plural form. He plays football. He is a singular subject. Therefore plays takes the form according to the singular subject and becomes the singular verb. You are playing football. Are playing is in present continuous tense. She was playing football is in past continuous tense. In all these four examples, we see that the forms of the verbs change according to the number or the person of the subject and also on the tense of the verb. Let us now see what is a non-finite verb. Non-finite verbs do not change their form even when the person or the number of the subject changes, nor on the tense of the sentence. That means they are independent of the person or the number and the tense of the sentence. They want to eat something delicious. They is plural subject. She wants to eat something delicious. She is a singular subject. He wants to play football. They want to play football. They want to eat eggs for breakfast. We see in all these five examples, the verb to eat and to play do not change the form according to the number and person of the subject. Neither do they change according to the tense of the sentence, and therefore these are non-finite verbs. Now let us see the types of non-finite verbs. The first one is the infinitive. The second is gerund. The third one is participle. Now let us go into details. The first one is infinitive. It is a non-finite verb. That means the form does not change. It is generally preceded by to. That means to and the root form of the verb. It is a verb that is used like a noun, adjective or adverb in a sentence. That means the function of the infinitive is either a noun or adjective or adverb. According to that, we have two types of infinitives. The first one is the simple infinitive where it is used as a noun. The next one is gerundial infinitive when the infinitives are used as adjective or adverb. Let us see what is a simple infinitive. When infinitive is used as noun, it is called simple infinitive. Let us see the examples. When the infinitive is used as a subject of a sentence, to read is a good habit. To find fault is easy. We find here to read, to find. These are acting as the subject in a sentence and therefore these are simple infinitives acting as a noun and of course subject. As object to verb, I like to play. He likes to read. To play and to read are used as object to the verbs and therefore these are simple infinitives. As complement to verb, his greatest pleasure is to swim. His intention is to sing. To swim and to sing in these two examples are used as complement to the verb and therefore these are the perfect examples of simple infinitives. Now when do we use infinitive with too and enough? He is too weak to move. She is old enough to get married. To move and to get are the example of the infinitive. Use of infinitive with dummy it. It is our duty to respect our elders. To respect is infinitive here. Now dummy it means if we want to write the same sentence omitting it, how do we write this? To respect our elders is our duty. Same example, the usage of the infinitive is the same. Only thing is we are using that as the subject in the sentence. It is difficult to live without pure water. To live without pure water is difficult. It is illegal to detain a woman in night. To detain women in night is illegal. Therefore, in all these three sentences, we are removing the word it and using the infinitive as the subject of the sentence. Now, when do we use infinitive with WH words? How do we use that? I don't know what to say. Tell me where to go. I wonder who to call. Do you know how to swim? We see here the WH words, what, where, who, know. The infinitive is placed immediately after the WH words. Now let us see what is gerundial infinitive. As I already discussed before, when infinitives are used as adjectives or adverbs in a sentence, those infinitives are gerundial. Let us see the example. We eat to live. To live is the infinitive here modifying the verb eat, and therefore it is an adverb and thus an example of gerundial infinitive. Let us see the second example. This wine is pleasant to drink. Now pleasant to drink. What is pleasant to drink? The wine. That means the wine is noun, pleasant is adjective, to drink is modifying the noun. That means it is acting as the adjective. Therefore, it is a gerundial infinitive. What are bare infinitives? Now, as the name suggests, bare means without. Now, what do we have here? The infinitives which do not have to with the verb. Now, let us see. To is not used after auxiliary verbs. What are auxiliary verbs, children? These are the helping verbs. See the example. Shall, will, must, dare, could, might, need, can, may, should. Examples. I should write. He should write. He can do it. I ought to go. I used to play cricket in the morning. So in these 5 examples, we see should and can does not take to with that, and therefore these are bare infinitives, but exceptions are there. See the 4th example. I ought to go. We are using to go with ought. I used to play. Used to play. So these are the exceptions. The verbs ought, the auxiliary verbs ought and used do not have bare infinitive. Instead, they take the regular to form with the verb. In active voice, to is not used with hear, see, make, feel, watch, know. Now, for those children who are new to this channel, you can find a detailed description of active and passive voice in my previous videos. You can watch them for your reference. Now, in active voice, to is not used, like I heard her sing. We don't say I heard her to sing. I watch her go. She made me fool. In these type of examples, we don't use to. To is not used after let. I let her sleep, let them play, let them come. We don't use to after the word let. To is also not used in negative and interrogative with need and dare. I need not go. Dare you act like her. So these all are examples of bare infinitive. Now children, let us see what is a gerund. Gerund is the ing form of verb which is used as a noun. It is also called as a verbal noun. Let us see the example, then it will be clear to you. Running is a good way to keep fit. We see here the verb run has the ing form and also it is used as a noun. Running is a good way to keep fit and therefore it is the example of a gerund. The boys were tired of running. Running again is used as a noun. He seemed to be interested in fighting. I like reading books. So these verbs, run, fight, read, they are taking the ing form and also acting as a noun in these sentences, and therefore these are gerund. As both gerund and infinitive have the force of a noun and a verb, that means they are the verbal noun. They have the action of the verb and a noun. They have same uses. Thus, either of them may be used in a sentence with not much difference in meaning. Teach me to swim. Teach me swimming. The first example is infinitive. The second one is a gerund, but the meanings are almost similar because both of them are used as a noun in a sentence. Therefore, we don't find much difference in the meaning. Now, let us see the second type of non-finite verb, that is the participle. A participle is that form of the verb which has characteristics of an adjective and also a verb. These are of three types: the present, past, and the perfect participle. Let us go into details, children. The first type, present participle, the first form of the verb plus ing. Present participle ends with ing and represents an action as going on or incomplete. Let us see the examples. We met a girl carrying a basket of flowers. We see here carry, that is the first form of verb plus ing is used, and this shows that the girl was in the action of carrying a basket of flowers. That action is incomplete. It was a tiring journey. Tire, the first form of the verb tire plus ing, and it was a continuous. The journey was going on. It is incomplete. The blind man, thinking all was safe, tried to cross the road. Think plus ing, that is the first form of the verb plus ing, also showing the action of thinking to be incomplete. Now let us see the past participle form. The past participle use the third form of verb and is usually ends in ed, dt, en or n. It indicates about the completion of task in the past. She looks tired. That is the past form. The candidate selected for this post is my brother. Selected, ed, the past form. Driven by hunger, en, she stole an apple. The house was burnt, ending with T. He gave a written complaint, double T-E-N. Let us now see the last one, perfect participle. Those participle which indicates the ending of a task and after that the starting of a new task are perfect participle. Now how does it take the form? Having plus the past participle, having been plus the past participle. Let us see the example. Having finished my work, I went to the market. That means work has been finished. After one action has been done, the new task is about to start. I finished my work and then I went to market. Having passed the examination, he prepared for interview. So the starting of a new task, preparing for the interview, happened when the passing of the examination got over. It has the form having plus the participle or the having been plus the past participle form. Now let us see at the exercises, children. Exercises on infinitives, gerunds and participles. You can practice that. Few sentences are given. You can find here the underlined words are there. You have to identify them into gerunds, participles or infinitives. You can find the answers in the last. 15 examples are there, children. Please revise this and you can find here the answers of all of them. I hope this video will be beneficial for you. Subscribe to my channel, like and share the same and do comment in the comment section. Also keep on watching my channel for my new upcoming videos. Until then, take care, goodbye and God bless you.